Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV, community focus on Washington County. And we are delighted to have today with us Greg Sims, who was a magistrate for Washington County Fiscal Court for how many years?
29 years.
Gosh, Greg, can you believe that?
I cannot.
And you represented which district?
6th District.
The 6th District, which included?
Fredericktown. Used to include Manton until about 4 or 5 years ago we had to redistrict. So Fredericktown, about half of Springfield, Bloomfield Road, half of Lincoln Park Road. Lincoln Park Road is the dividing line. Out to Beachland, Valley Hill. That's pretty much the area.
Yeah.
What would you call it? Not Sissylville, but
well, Sissel, yeah, Sissylville.
Toward the Burr, Cane Run Road.
Okay.
That's all mine too, or was.
29 years.
Yep.
So now you have retired from your magisterial duties.
I'm retired.
Not retired though,
No.
because you are a local businessman. You own the Parkview IGA.
Correct.
And you, I don't know, gosh, and of course you have a catering business.
Correct.
Is that called
Just Parkview IGA, yeah.
Parkview IGA Catering? And I know you're busy today because you've got some events going on. Of course, you cater everything under the sun, weddings and I don't know what all. So, but now I've got to ask you okay, so you're from Springfield, grew up here. Your parents are...
My family goes back into the 1700s.
Wow.
In Washington County.
Yeah.
So I think they were some of the original, almost original settlers. Yeah.
I see. And so, and your father, Sandy, probably has all kinds of genealogy on that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, my grandmother did a book on that. My grandmother, my Uncle Wendell Grayson, I've got a book at home where they traced it all the way back to England and so forth, Scotland, wherever.
Well,
So
how cool is that? Yeah. So I know the Sims have been around Springfield for a long, long time, and then your parents, Sandy and Patsy, raised you all here, and I think there's you and...
There's 5 of us.
Okay.
3 boys and 2 girls, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you went to Washington County High School.
I did.
And then...
University of Kentucky.
And got your undergraduate degree there,
Right.
bachelor's in...
Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Yeah. Well, you haven't practiced that psychology, but maybe you do every day in
It
your...
helps in business.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you say you went on to get your master's, almost.
Almost, from Murray State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and was that right through? I mean, you went on from your
Straight through.
bachelor's to... So you were at UK all those years and...
UK
lived there?
5 years and Murray State 1.5 years. I had a fellowship to Murray State, so yeah.
And then you came back to Washington County from there?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I was city administrator for 2 years right after Hugh Allen.
Oh gosh, I forgot that.
Very productive time.
Yeah, I learned a lot about city government, of course.
Laurie Smith and I, a lot smaller office. It was myself and Laurie, and 1 full-time secretary and 1 part-time secretary.
Is that right?
Did all the economic development and planning and zoning. And we did the original Main Street program. We did the Main Street project with all the sidewalks and stuff. We got
Now,
the site.
who was the mayor then? Was that...
That was Dwight.
Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martha Lane was governor.
Yeah.
They were very good friends, so Martha Lane was very generous to us.
Yeah,
Got a lot of grants and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Dwight ran our campaign. He and I think Nell Hayden here in this county.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I know I've heard stories about how, Dwight went up to her office and would sit outside the door till she finally
till she
saw
let
him.
him in,
Yeah,
like.
let him in until...
White was very persistent.
That's what I've always done. Well, then I guess Mike Hayden, my husband, was city administrator after you?
No, he was before. He was
Oh, he was way before. Okay.
He was before.
In the Dwight's first term?
Was he right before Hugh? Might have been.
I guess so, maybe. Could have been.
I don't know if there's anybody between him and Hugh or not.
That's interesting. We'll have to.
Hugh Allen did it. I think he might have been right before Hugh.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike got a tremendous amount done too, but we got a lot done back then. You know, we ran the water line in from Willisburg. I came in right when they were finishing that project. And like I said, we did the Main Street improvement project with the bricks and the sidewalks and everything. And then Laurie and I worked together. We did the original Main Street program. Got us into that. Got the grant for that. And what Nell does now.
Main Street Renaissance. Yeah, that Nell does now. Yeah.
You know, we got bought the end of the site where Anahuac is today, and worked with Kenny Begley on that to get that leveled for free through the Army Corps of Engineers, the Army Reserves. He got them to come in. They did a summer project one year, and we got that whole site leveled for free.
Wow.
Bought that site at the time. Of course, everybody thought it might have been a boondoggle at the time, but it ended up being pretty good for Springfield.
Heck yeah.
And
well, wasn't that good?
yeah, it was. And bought the Cowden plant for free. Got it through a grant through the state. And Austin Apparel came in there, which at the time was good for Springfield. Of course, the apparel industry had some troubles a few years back, and they went out. But I know at one time they had 250 employees here. So, you know,
golly,
got a lot done there in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Of course, your husband had laid a lot of the groundwork for that too, though. So,
well, that's good. All progress for Springfield, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
And so you stayed 2 years, and then what after that?
Well, I was doing. I started Lynx at the time with my mother too, the restaurant.
Right.
And so I was doing city administrator by day and Lynx by night, and having babies in between.
Yeah.
Got married, and I had my children, and it was kind of a
busy time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think you're accustomed to just being very, very busy.
I am. Yeah.
That's kind of you must like it that way.
I do. Yeah. I like to stay busy.
Yeah. So because that's right. You and your mother opened Lynx.
We opened Lynx, yeah, and I probably opened that I probably had the city administrator's job for maybe a year when we opened that. So I did that I was in city administrator for about 2 years. And
then you resigned that in order to do the restaurant full time?
Yeah, because it was getting to be a little bit too much.
For your mother.
The restaurant, the first couple of years in the restaurant were pretty rough. Third year, we really took off. We were really, we were pulling a lot of people out of Versailles and Lawrenceburg, and of course a lot of those areas, Camelsville, they were dry at the time, and we were dry too. Couldn't think of it. Didn't think about that. We were dry, but we had the seafood buffet.
Right.
And
everybody came from
miles around to get that.
Exactly.
And crab legs were a lot cheaper back then, and oysters. So
boy, they were good. It'd
be hard to do that now for what we did back then for what it was. But,
yeah. So then you stayed in that and full time for how long?
6 years. And then I sold that to Doug and
Kathy Elliott.
Yeah, they took it over. And then I went to work for Hilliard Lyons for a couple of years as a stockbroker.
Goodness sake. So then you decided to use your business degree, huh?
Well, yeah, but I wasn't.
I mean, not that you weren't using it at Lynx,
I was.
because that's certainly when you're in business. I mean,
I've always loved the stock market, but when I got into it, I found there was a little more sales involved to it that I liked, and I didn't like sitting behind a desk. So after a couple of years, that was enough of that. I didn't like cold calling and pushing people to buy stuff.
Yeah,
It just wasn't my style. So anyway.
That's not your forte, is it?
But I still love the stock market, but I just didn't,
Right.
wasn't my thing being a stockbroker. So.
But now you weren't magistrate yet.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
When did you
became magistrate when did I become? 29 years, so that would have been.
Yeah, let's go back and count your age.
38. I've been about when I was 29. So that would have been, I was still in Lynx when I became magistrate.
Okay. And you decided to run at that time because, why?
I don't know, I just want to do something to help the county. Just like to get involved. You know, I was into a lot of things back then. I was a chamber director for a while, and you know.
You were you were a chamber director? Or?
Yeah, we did the original, raised the original money. I was on the committee to go out and get the money to hire an industrial development director.
Oh.
We went out and got pledges for $200,000
from business people in the community.
People in the community, yeah. And hired the original, you know, industrial development person, like what Daniel's doing now. And
I guess the first one was.
He was in the military.
I know, and I can't remember his name.
And he did a great job, and then he had a heart attack. Remember, he didn't last, and he had to resign and everything. It just kind of messed things up for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
But it did get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
And led to Sweet, I guess, eventually. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
And so, and when you ran for magistrate during that time, did you have an opponent in that district? I
had opponents every year except for one. Of course, that was 5 different terms, 5, 6, 7 different terms. Yeah, I had opponents every time except for once. That one time was nice, but anyway.
Yeah, it's nice when you don't have an opponent.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? Yeah. So, when you ran, did you have an opponent that on that first initial one? Had someone retired or anything, or you just?
The first time I ran, Pat Manley had been appointed to fill somebody's. I can't remember whose term it was. I think it was Mr. Allen's term. He had been appointed to fill that term, and he ran for. I think he ran for a higher office.
Oh, okay.
So I ran
for the magistrate's position.
And
okay.
I couldn't tell you who ran against me then. I really don't remember. I remember some of the people that ran against me, but I don't remember that first time. But like I said, Pat had been appointed, and he finished the term out, and then I think he might have ran for county clerk. I don't remember what he ran for.
It could have been. And so then you, and been on there 29 years since.
Yeah.
So tell me some of the things that you are proud of on your years being in that position.
I think the best thing I was proud of was just the way we all worked together. We had a court that was together, you know, for the most part a long time. Billy, Hal, Ernest Reed, Goff, of course, Benjamin came in after him, but, you know, Terry Tingle. We just all, you know, there was never any infighting as far as, you know, as you see on a national level with Republicans and Democrats. You know, we'd have our little arguments or something, but we'd get over them, and I think we got a lot accomplished. You know, when we first came in, the county was in some severe financial difficulties. You know.
Who was the judge then?
Bobby.
Okay.
I think Bourbon was a judge right before I came in, but Bobby was judge for the more or less first half of the time I was in, then Johnny was judge for the last half. I thought they were both very good judges. Both did a really good job, but you know, we got through those financial difficulties. We had to make some tough decisions. The court before us had to make some tough decisions as far as some taxes and stuff to get the county, because at the time, you know, the year before I came in, I think the only thing the county had was a property tax. And of course, a lot of people think the property tax raises a lot of money for the county government, but it does not. It really, our property taxes
are very low.
Our property tax, as far as the county goes, is one of the lowest anywhere around. Now, there's a lot of other taxes that go into that. You know, the school system and the extension office and the health department. That's what people don't realize, I think. But so we had I think it only raised. I don't think it even raised $200,000 at the time. So and it doesn't raise a whole lot more than that now. But and that's one thing I'm proud of too. You know, we when I went in, the property tax was around 8 cents per hundred. When I went out, the property tax was around 8 cents per hundred. So I think it might be 8.2 now. So that's pretty good for 29 years.
I'd say so.
But you know, we passed an occupational tax, which is kind of a progressive tax. I think if you're doing your job, if you're bringing jobs into Washington County, that tends to grow every year. And then, you know, we've done very well the last few years. You know, our unemployment rate right now is probably the lowest it's ever been. It's 3-something%. So you know, I'm very proud of that.
Right.
You know, we went in with the city some time ago and established SWEDA to help get, that kind of get the politics out of industrial development. Because, in my time when I was at the city administrator for a couple of years, I was in charge of doing industrial development too, along with everything else. At the time you had to wear a lot of hats. Mike,
right.
I'm sure you knew that.
Yeah.
You had to wear a lot of hats as city administrator. It wasn't just,
right.
You weren't just getting grants and doing a few things. You were doing a lot of different hats at the same time.
Yeah.
And, when you went to Frankfurt, you would find out, the people up there didn't really like to have politics involved in industrial development. That's changed some too, but it's, it's because I don't think the economic development department is, they still bring a lot in, but I think there's a lot of other, you got a lot of independent people that bring things in now too. A lot of these bigger companies that do. At the time, it was pretty much you went to the economic development department to do everything.
Right, right.
And, but getting water throughout the county was a big thing too. We worked with the water company on that. I kind of forgotten about that, and when some of the people mentioned that, I think that you had on the show and stuff, I remember that. We had the hardest part about that was going out and trying to get easements from people, because you had a lot of people didn't want you crossing their property.
Right.
And we spent.
But what an advantage.
It was.
To have,
it was. The water company worked with us great. We worked with them. We went out and got the easements for them, and I think at the time when I came in, there was only about maybe 20% of the county that had water. Now it's over 90%.
Yeah.
So the water companies, they've done a great job getting that out. But it was a lot of work at the time. Going out and trying to get people to sign. When you had 200 or 300 easements in each district, you had to go out and try to get signed. It was not an easy task.
And to persuade them that was going to be for their own good, really.
For their own good. That's correct.
Yeah.
Recycling was a big thing. It's a tough thing now because the commodities are all down. And we've had to do a lot of things to try to tweak it or whatever to keep it going. But it's that's been a big thing I think for Washington County to help out.
Yeah. We're not recycling small plastics now. I was telling some of them the other day, and I said there's just no market for it. And I said, I don't know what we're going to do about these plastics. It's a serious, serious problem, Well,
we're still doing some plastics, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, the bigger things, milk jugs and detergent bottles, grocery bags at the store. Yeah.
But,
so that's good.
It's tough, Like I said, we bought a crusher for the glass, and we tried to do glass for years. There's no market.
There's no market for it.
You would think they would use it maybe in in highway pavement or something. I don't know why they don't. Because it's basically just sand once you grind it up. It's silica, and but it's it would just pile up, and people didn't like it when we quit taking glass. But we had nowhere to take it.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of dusty. Some of the industries around, we had to be careful about it too. Hal could probably tell you more about that, but they were worried about it blowing over and getting in their molds or whatever and messing up, like Inawac or whatever. Toya told me it could mess up their parts. So if you couldn't move it fast, you didn't really want to store it. But I saw
you learn a lot about county government being on that. In that position and all that, the day-to-day operations and everything. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that the county government does people don't realize. We had to do we helped the fire department out. I think that was a big thing for me, finally getting the substation in Fredericktown, which has helped tremendously with some of the insurance rates down there for people.
Yeah.
And just the coverage. That was that was a terribly unpopular thing when we did it.
When you did that, everybody had to pay what do they call it?
$45.
Yeah, the 40. What's it called though?
It's just called a fee. I think it's some kind of a fee.
The fire fee or whatever.
It's a fee.
Yeah.
But it's.
I know it wasn't popular, but it was certainly worthwhile. I think too.
And getting that station down there has really made it come home to people. I think. Because it took a while to do that. When working with the fire department, everything, they've done a really good job, and it's a great thing for the county.
Yeah, yeah.
That, and the mandatory garbage was a really good thing too. Wasn't terribly popular at the time either, but but I think that's been a great thing for the county too.
I do.
And we didn't really want to make it mandatory, but we had no choice, because if that was the only way we could get a larger company to come in and do it for us, because the county is so spread out. You know, we're not densely populated like some counties. It's a great thing about Washington County, in my opinion. You know, I don't like living in cities or whatever. You know, you got the open spaces and everything, but it makes it hard for something like that when you're trying to get somebody to come in and, you know, and do the garbage, and you've got 3,000 people right here in Springfield, but then everything else, and then you've got another 9,000 people that are spread out over an entire county. You know, with really not a whole lot of major population centers or anything. So
Right.
but you know, we partner with Rumpke on that, and it's been a really good thing, I think.
So, well, you probably never got any. Did you ever get have any bad experiences with during all your years? Where I can think of one.
What's that?
I can think of the. I think you were on there then when the nudist colony was coming out. That wouldn't have been in your district, but
No, that was
the fiscal court had to do. Were you on the fiscal court then?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that being so. Caused quite a stir in the county.
It did.
Didn't it?
It did.
I don't know how you all handled that. I can't remember now. There was
Interesting
something.
times.
Yeah. Because we didn't have county. We didn't have zoning.
We still don't have countywide
We still don't have countywide zoning.
which was another, that was
That's right. That was an issue, wasn't
a
it?
big issue. When we had that meeting.
Yeah. But I don't know. You know, times have changed. You never know what might. That if the
Well, I'll be
nudist
honest,
colony.
yeah. The nudist colony was, I'm glad it's gone. But it's,
They just finally left, I guess, because even though you couldn't zone them out,
yeah,
but I guess because they were so unpopular,
yeah,
they decided to leave. I think that was, am I right on that?
pretty much, yeah. Yeah. We did some things, I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, we couldn't zone them out. I think we might have passed some kind of an ordinance, but I don't know, like a nuisance ordinance or something, I don't remember, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. I don't remember the exact way we did it, but
Well, you had.
they were around for a little while. It didn't last too long.
Yeah.
But
And
one
what-
example
can
of
you-
why we probably do need countywide zoning.
Yeah. I mean, really, are there? Can you think of some other things that you wish could have gone differently, or that you would like to see get done in the future, even though you're not on there?
Well, I'm always pro-industry, so I'd like to see us, get some more industry in, just be a little more diversified, even though I think we've done very well. It's, for a small town, we've got a lot of diversity. I'd just like to see us get a little bit more as far as away from the,
Auto.
Inowac and Toyotomi are great, but like I said, if you ever had a major, we've been very fortunate the last few years. The car industry has done very well, but it is a very cyclical industry. So, you never know.
Yeah.
And,
And there's a lot more electrical cars on the road. There's been
There are.
discussion about that, as
I
far
don't
as.
foresee that becoming a big thing for several years, but yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's more of a West Coast thing, maybe around New York, some of the bigger metropolitan areas, but
Yeah.
you don't really have the range with them and having the charging stations and stuff like that. It's going to take several years for that the infrastructure to get built up for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how politics will play in that on the national
But
level. either.
still, it does have an effect on
It
the car
does.
industry, or they're going to start doing more electrical cars, I guess, or
Yeah.
electric cars. So I don't know.
Well, maybe these, Inowac or Toyotomi, they might start.
Yeah.
They're basically into making the panels and stuff for them, so they're not really into the.
Right.
Hopefully, it won't affect them too much.
Yeah. Well, I do think that's a good idea, though, to be, to have the diversification, because, it'd be like Detroit or something, if you had, like you said, a downturn in the
You do.
auto industry, it could be really
And we
hurt
do have
us.
some, we do have, you've got All Tech, which is animal feeds, which is great. You've got Bluegrass Dairy, which is people feed, which is basically drying cheese and stuff like that. We've got Barber Cabinet. So, we've got the pallet plant.
Right.
So we do have a good deal of diversity, but it always helps to have more. Hopefully we'll have the distillery coming in before too long.
Oh, yeah.
They're putting their first warehouse up, so that's
That's going to be good.
very interesting to see a bourbon barrel warehouse with solid concrete walls. I don't know if you've been out there and seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it.
It's a lot different from the ones that are being built in Bardstown.
I know it. I'm gonna have to go out and see that. That is so it is concrete walls.
Solid concrete walls, poured concrete.
Wow.
It's going to be, it's going to be climate controlled. They're climate controlling it. Like this, the lady that's doing it, she's a chemical engineer. They're head distiller or whatever, and they're climate controlling so they can control the process and age the bourbon faster.
Oh, it ages the bourbon faster.
Yeah, because they can control, bourbon.
I know they don't have to move the barrels, I don't think.
That's why Kentucky's so great for bourbon, because you need the heat and you need the cold.
Right, right.
So this way they can kind of level it out, I guess, and maybe.
And you don't have, I know they don't have to alternate these barrels, because, at all the other warehouses, they move the barrels up and down and stuff like that for the climate,
Right.
But so that's interesting. I know, I can't wait I have to go out there and see.
I've seen it, but like I said, I don't, it'd be very interesting when they get it up.
Yeah.
I just hope, they've really put up a nice place in Louisville too. I hope they do something like that here. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the one in Louisville either.
At, the
Did you go to the?
I was at the Children's Museum with my grandson back around November, and it's right next to the Children's Museum down on Main Street. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. They've refurbished. Of course, it wasn't open at the time, but it's open now. Michter's. It's refurbished. Old building.
I can't wait to see that too.
It's really nice, It looks like a great place to visit, so I'm hoping they're going to put something like that up here eventually. Well,
that's what they've, been saying, that eventually they'll have a gift shop, maybe a restaurant, and all kinds of things. Yeah. So, and tours of the facility. So, that's what we're hoping.
We were in the running, for some other projects like that, but, we've got to do a little bit more. I think the water company's working on maybe getting some increase in our sewer and water capacity. But, so hopefully we're on the, that's, the Bourbon Trail is, whether you're big into it or whatever, it's a great tourist attraction now.
It is. Yeah, we have people here. People don't realize how many people we get here from all over.
Millions, from all over the country and all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to some of these distilleries and you might hear 5 or 6 different languages. It's crazy, but it's great for Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
It's great for this area.
Exactly.
It's great for my business.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so now, was there something that you wanted to do, or you just wanted to cut down a little bit after you didn't run again for the magistrate's position? Are you?
Well, I mean, we're tremendously busy at the store with the catering and stuff. So I needed to cut down, and it's time for somebody else to come in. Maybe with some new ideas or something. So I've been doing it long enough. And sometimes I feel like this last year or two that my time was, I didn't have enough time to maybe do as good a job as I used to. So it's time for somebody else to come in. It's,
I'd say probably hard for you to, because every time I see you, you're catering a job. All through the day and all through the evening.
It's a little slower this time of year, thankfully, but it's getting ready to be picking up here very shortly.
and luckily, you've got Christopher with you now, your son.
Yeah.
And now the other 2 sons are.
Harrison works in the office out there.
Harrison is in the office. Yeah. So you got 2 sons out there. That's great.
Yeah. And then Michael's in Florida. Michael's a case manager at a large pediatric hospital in Florida.
Yeah.
He's an RN, so
Yeah.
And his wife is in corporate at Olive Garden. So
and she's from there. Isn't she from that area?
Yeah, from South Florida, Boca Raton. So she's from down around Fort Lauderdale, but they live in Orlando.
You think they'll come back up to this area?
I'm afraid not.
So you're just.
I keep trying, but it's not working.
Well, we've got Olive Garden up here, and we've certainly got plenty of nursing positions.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But, well, you've got 2 of them with you, and I know that they're a real help to you.
They are.
Yeah. And you've got a big business. So I'm just wondering are you just going to continue to, gradually let them take over and you retire, or are you going to get into something else?
That's the plan, hopefully, in the long run. Right now, there's no gradual to it. It's just full steam ahead.
Yeah, because you all are so busy.
Yeah, we're very busy. Harrison's more into the administrative area. he likes to be into the catering some, but he's not into it big time yet. He lives in Lawrenceburg, so he's
Oh, he commutes
not
every
back
day.
yet.
Then, yeah.
his wife. He's married to Brooke, and she has a really good hair business in Lexington.
Oh.
She was with Posh Salon for a couple of years when she got out of school, and now she's gone out on her own. So they bought a house,
Kind of
midway
midway there, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
she commutes to Lexington,
And he comes
Springfield.
here.
Yeah.
Well, that works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So, and do you have any other things up your sleeve, or that you're going to be involved in? Or
Never know.
I know you're still with the Rotary Club, and no,
No,
but
I'm
you okay. You cater the Rotary. You were catering the
Cater
Rotary.
the Lions Club.
Oh, the
yeah.
Lions.
Yeah, I think
okay.
the Rotary goes to more.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for your years of service
you.
as
Appreciate it.
magistrate, and
Very enjoyable. I always enjoyed it. It was a great time. I loved doing it. In a way, I miss it. I just still miss it. But
yeah.
I just enjoyed it. Never really aspired to much anything else. Higher office. I always enjoyed doing it, and always enjoyed the people I worked with there.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You might get into something else.
Never know.
You never know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
All right,
being
Lisa.
on here.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Greg.
Okay, appreciate it.